Sup guys? So I did say that if my voice held up I'd probably maybe get you guys a vlog done. And my voice is holding up, so here you go. Um did recently get back from my weekish long trip. Went up to Queensland with some friends. It was pretty good. I haven't traveled that much in like the last couple of years, 3 years maybe. Um, so to kind of get out and travel somewhere was pretty nice. And yeah, it was a good experience. And I'm back, so back to league. um, Olaf Guide is still being updated. I updated it yesterday with a few small things. Still just it takes a bit of time to work through everything. The matchup VODs, which I still need to get through, will probably be a while. There's a lot of VODs there. There's literally over 100 files, which just are not properly named because at the time I didn't bother naming them. So that's kind of bitten me a bit. Yeah, it's gonna take a long time to go through them because obviously a game where I don't think there's like much to learn from by watching it. Even if I win or do really well in lane, like if the game as a whole I do not feel is worth watching from a viewer's perspective, then I'm not going to put it off, pretty much. Because the VODs are just up there to teach you guys. Well, not necessarily teach you guys, it's more so you can learn from it. I'm not really doing much teaching, it's mostly you guys learning. So yeah, I basically just have to filter through them, find ones that I feel demonstrate some stuff well, and then I can put those up. So yeah, that'll take quite a while to go through. So I'm working on it, but don't expect it anytime soon, unfortunately. Season 5 ranked is underway, but I'm like kind of sick and my net is kind of weird. Before I left for my trip, we went up to again Queensland. So before I left my trip, there were some really bad storms in my area, and I don't know if it's a coincidence or not. I'm guessing it's probably not, but after those storms, my internet started like cutting out a bunch. So that's not really great for ranked. So right now, between being sick and my internet cutting out a bit, it's not terrible, and I'm not terribly sick either. But between the two, I don't really want to ranked right now. Hopefully both of those get better soon. I'm hoping I get better soon, if nothing else. I will be playing in the Oceanic Open Ladder. I think that's what it's called, Oceania Open Ladder. I don't know the like specific name off the top of my head, and I don't have it open on my screen either to cheat off, but I'll be playing that with a bunch of friends. We played in the last set of tourneys as well. We did okay, not great, but okay, but I mean, it was fun, and we were getting better as we kept playing. So I'd honestly prefer to play with a bunch of guys like aren't dicks, cause playing with just random solo queue people has not been a great experience. Every time I've freaking accepted some random invite to play on the team full of like challenges and high diamonds, it's just not been a great experience. So sticking with some friends, like my friends aren't crap at the game, but like they're not challengers. So we'll see how that goes. It'll be fun if nothing else. We'll get better as a team, learn as a team. It'll be good. 5.1 changes. There's honestly not a whole lot there that I care about too much. Base gates. So for those of you who haven't seen it, along the base wall, like between each inhibitor along the base wall, they've cut a bit of the wall out and put a one-way gate. It doesn't open anything, like it's more of a sort of a magical force field thing that only allows allies through, enemies can't get through. So that'll change that dynamic of sieging a little bit, I guess, but I don't actually know how much it changes anything. Obviously it's going to be changing stuff a little bit, if nothing else, but I don't know how drastic it is. And I haven't had the chance to see it in action at high level play yet either, so yeah, not sure about that one. The freaking weird portal things seem kind of cheesy. I potentially they're pretty cool as well. So again, for those of you who haven't seen them, they're called Zrot portals or Zrot portals. I don't know how you're supposed to say it. It's ZZ apostrophe ROT, and basically you buy the item. You get an active which puts down a spawner. The spawner spawns like a little void minion thing to go push down the nearest lane. It, from what I've seen, it hits minions and it hits structures. And when it hits structures, it just explodes. So it like goes full baneling and it just walks into the thing and explodes. Does a little bit of damage. It doesn't do heaps of damage, but it doesn't hit champions. So it's not gonna like be useful in a team fight or anything. It's just there for pushing. And again, I really do not know how much that changes anything. So you're gonna have to wait and see on that one. Renekton got a bunch of changes, but we're just talking about more champions and stuff that I don't actually know that much about. I've barely played Renekton, and I'm not that familiar with him beyond that. So I don't know how much the changes affect him, but they're fairly widespread. Like they changed his, I think they changed every one of his abilities. I'm pretty sure they changed passive Q, W, E, and R in different ways. Like they weren't humongous changes. Like it wasn't a full rework or anything, but they're still tweaking each and every one of his abilities. So it's probably gonna do something, but I just don't know what it is yet. Trinkets got changed. The tier 3 trinkets are cheaper except for Oracle's Lens. So the Stealth Ward Yellow Trinket, the Pink Ward Yellow Trinket, and the Blue Trinket upgrades for tier 3, the ones that cost gold, are all cheaper now. Instead of being $4.75, they're $2.50, which is nice. And they also buffed the cooldown, or buff as in lowered the cooldown of the upgraded yellow trinket, which is nice. I mean, the upgraded yellow trinket was pretty crappy, to be honest. There wasn't much reason to buy it. So by buffing the cooldown and buffing the cost, it becomes a lot more viable. I still don't know exactly when you'd want to buy it for most people. If you're split pushing, the ward might be useful. If you're dealing with stealth champions, the pink ward might be useful, but as a general ward, I don't know if it's really worth picking up because you already have Sightstone for ward coverage. And, I mean, your wards are going to get swept anyway, so it's kinda... It's nice, but I don't know how like practical it'll be to actually pick up upgraded yellow trinkets. The upgraded red trinket did not get a buff, it actually got a nerf. It's the same cost as before, and they increased the cooldown by 15 seconds, which is kind of funny, but it is the strongest upgraded trinket. And it's very consistent and it's very reliable. Like you basically always will find a ward to clear when you use the upgraded red trinket, just because the duration of the oracles is like 10 seconds or something, so that's enough time to walk around a bit and actually find a ward to kill. And you get gold for killing the ward, so like making it cost more seems pretty sensible. I don't know if it seems a little weird to make the cost of the upgraded trinkets different, but I mean, that's the only one that directly gives you money, and it's like basically the most useful out of all of them anyway, so it seems alright. IE and PD got switched in a little bit, so IE has 5% less crit, PD has 5% more crit, and Shiv is the same as before. So in an 80 carry build, you might possibly maybe want to buy PD slightly more often now. I don't have the maths on me, but I honestly feel like Shiv versus PD, one item versus one item, Shiv does more damage, I think. As far as I know, I'm fairly sure that's true. If you go one item out of Last Whisper and Eye Edge, so let's say you have an Eye Edge and Shiv versus Eye Edge and PD, I think the damage is actually still comparable to a single target. at least for the gold cost, because Shiv is 200 cheaper, so PD actually has to outdamage it by like 5% or something to actually make it worth the cost. And that's only against a single target, and PD's passive doesn't fully function because you can still get stuck on creeps anyway. It helps, but it doesn't actually solve the pathing problem, so I don't know. I still think Shiv is gonna be a strong generic buy just because it's not only single target, you also get the wave clear and or AoE damage. Well, it's not AoE, multi-target damage. So like your average DPS in a team fight will be basically the same, but you get that utility from Shiv. And then if you go Eye Edge, Last Whisper, and the attack speed item, then I'm pretty sure PD pulls like statistically relevant, well, pulls ahead a statistically relevant amount because Shiv's passive does magic damage, and obviously Last Whisper Armor Pen gonna help PD more than it helps Shiv. So, I mean, those are small changes, but I don't think it's actually changed anything too much. It just sort of minor pushes in the right direction because there was not a lot of reason to buy PD before. The one interesting thing that like I realized today about those changes is it messes up everyone's specialized Yasuo page, because on Yasuo you'd usually buy Eye, you'd buy Shiv, and then you'd run 5 crit chance reds and then like a crit chance yellow or something, and you'd get 100% crit because of your passive. You can't do that anymore unless you're willing to run 9 crit reds and then like 3 crit yellows or something like that, which doesn't seem that appealing. I've seen Froggen recently going Eye Edge and Shiv Trinity without any crit on his runes, and that gives him 100% with passive. So I don't know if that's going to become a standard build for Yasuo, or maybe it's going to become one of the standard builds for Yasuo, but it's interesting and kind of funny that like everyone's Yasuo pages just suddenly got screwed over really hard. And anyone who went out and bought crit runes just for Yasuo kinda can't justify them anymore. As for what's coming in the future, because that's about it for the patch notes that I really care about that much. Most of the stuff I was doing was basically the Olaf guide, and now the Olaf guide is done. So, I mean, I'm still obviously maintaining it, I'm still updating it. Like I said before, I still need to go through all my bazillion VODs and get those sorted for you guys, upload them. And that'll take a lot of time again, so it'll be a while on that. But in terms of other stuff, most of my clips and that sort of thing were from ranked. I might try to start ranked tomorrow if things look alright, maybe the day after. So once I get back into ranked, there'll be more clips, more random crap to upload. Hopefully some good, cool stuff. I will probably have a couple of articles going up at Ramir Gaming. If you haven't heard of them, they're like pretty small. They're in the O scene. I write a few articles for them. They run some tournaments focused mostly on students as well. So I'll be probably, maybe, likely, very likely. I mean, the articles are pretty much done. It's an article. They're small articles. Like, it's one article on Rise masteries, but that's like not that relevant anymore because Rise got nerfed pretty badly and he's barely played anymore. But the article's done, so I figure for those of you who do actually play Rise, might be useful. Especially just what I think is a better mastery page for Rise. And then it's basically the same thing for Maokai, except A, Maokai is still useful in the meta and still played in the meta, and B, instead of masteries, it's his rune page. And basically I just did some math, crunched some numbers, and I think that a different combination of reds and quints is actually more efficient on Maokai than what most people run, just based on the numbers that I saw at levels 1 right through to 18. on standard Maokai builds. So check those out when they're up. They'll probably be up in the next week or two, fingers crossed. A link to Ramir Gaming will be in the description, so if you're interested in those, check them out. Yeah, they should be out soon. That's pretty much it for now. I'll update the OLF guide with more stuff as I get to it. I'll upload clips as I get them. I'll reclaim my spot in Challenger. It shouldn't be too difficult. I was actually climbing ranks in Challenger while I wasn't playing, so I don't think it'll be overly difficult to get back in. No offense to the other OS guys, but yeah. Yeah, that's about it for now. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.